So I actually had a dream about this, like when we first started the podcast, of like we would be here, like on the main stage in some capacity. So I guess dreams do come true.
Well, let me say this. I was talking to Brittany, and she gave me a promise. She can't even hear me. A promise that next year we'll have the whole room filled for it. She didn't actually give me a promise.
Well, we'll have to make it happen. But we're back. We're on the Sage Future Stage in San Francisco, doing yet another podcast. But we're with a very special guest, David. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
What makes him special?
Well, listeners can't see, but you are in a boot, David.
I am in a boot.
If you don't mind sharing, what happened?
It's called trying to stay or keep up with your 20-year-old kids on the mountain on your snowboard. And
A snowboard.
Yep.
So where do you live?
in San Francisco.
Oh,
And then-
you're local.
I'm a local.
Okay, all
But-
right. And when I said what makes him special, you're supposed to say he's a customer.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're a customer. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I am a
sorry.
customer too, yes.
So David, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who do you work for? That type of thing. Your blood type, social security number.
Just go that way.
I would prefer the bank account number.
Yeah,
but-
Bank account
yeah.
number. Well, somewhere I have a tattoo actually with my blood type on, but courtesy of the military. I give you some background. So grew up in South Africa.
Whoa, stop.
yeah.
Really?
Yes. You don't notice the accent?
I noticed the accent. I was gonna ask. I don't know if you know this. How would he know this?
How would he know? Well, he had listened to the podcast.
I mean, if he had listened. To the
Yes.
I am a Sage partner as well as a co-host with Emily here, and we actually have another co-host, Doug, who is on vacation. But we're partners for Sage in the U.S., Canada, and Africa, Middle East, with offices in South Africa. I was born in South Africa.
Oh, okay. We're
I was born in Joburg. We lived in Botswana.
sorry for you.
Came back when I was 3, so it doesn't really make a big difference. But what, Cape Town?
No, so I grew up in Durban.
In Durban?
Yeah.
Oh, I really like Durban.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I was just in South Africa 3 weeks ago. Spent a couple days in Durban. Unfortunately, I didn't get any chance to really enjoy it. So how long were you in South Africa?
Let's see. Grew up there lived there on and off till I was 28, 29 years old.
No. So the real question here is
Like I feel like I need to give you all the room.
the real question here is did Sage know this and set this up, or is this just happenstance?
I think that was maybe just happenstance. I feel like things like this normally happen to you.
That's true.
That is true.
I'm a very fortunate person. Anyway,
David,
sorry.
David,
Well,
keep on going.
well, of course, now I have to tell you, see, you claim to be a Southerner since you're from Louisiana.
Yes.
Me and him don't think so. Because you're from north of the equator.
That is very true.
So,
You just have a Southern accent.
Yeah, and even sometimes.
anyway, yeah, so grew up there and then worked for Deloitte for 20 odd years.
Okay.
And then decided I was
What did you do for Deloitte?
as audit, IT audit, financial audit,
Auditor.
auditor all over the world. Worked in London, South Africa, various places in the US, and eventually got tired of being, as I call it, a film critic, and picking on all these CFOs and telling them that they didn't know what they were doing and they needed to fix things. And so I decided to switch sides and become a CFO
How long ago?
in 2007.
Okay. So you've been a CFO now for
Almost 20 years.
I was going to do the math. I don't know why. This is 19. He's a CFO, and we're not going to go into math. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Awesome.
And so then that's what brought me out. My first introduction to Intacct was when they were first creating the product back in the late 90s. And
1999. I know that for a very specific
I don't
reason.
remember the exact date, but some of my team, actually, we had a project with Deloitte where Intacct hired us, and some of my team provided input to the product back then.
Wow.
And so now I curse them for some of the features. I wasn't heavily involved in the project, but
That's amazing.
I've seen the team that did it and have sort of followed the product over many years, but didn't actually use it anyway.
So in 2007, when you became a CFO, you didn't use it.
No, I went to a company, they were using QuickBooks.
Desktop.
Desktop version back then, because 2007. And was only there for a few years, then moved and worked for the Rockefeller family for a number of years, and we were using a Sage product, a very low numbered Sage product. If I recall correctly, it was 50, but I could be wrong. But it was in the single digits.
Was that Peachtree or
Peachtree.
Yep.
Sage 50 was
It was just
Peachtree.
saying,
Yeah.
And then took this job in San Francisco with a startup called Robertson Stevens, which is, if you know the history, that name has a long storied history from being one of the big tech investment bankers.
All right, give me the short version of that long story.
Oh, okay. Well, they were what they were known as the Four Horsemen, who basically did all the IPOs in the San Francisco area, all the tech companies, pick your tech company, Apple, going all the way back to Apple.
Okay.
And they basically went up against the big investment banks in New York. And their famous ad was, old economy, we've got it, we'll take it from you. And so, but they were eventually acquired by Bank of Boston, and the name was Sunset, and was just languishing. One of their employees then took over the name and started a wealth management company, ran it for a while, didn't do a great job. And then in 2018, a venture capital firm by the name of Long Arc acquired what was left, and we started the new Robertson Stevens, what some people affectionately call 3.0.
Okay.
Purely registered investment advisor focused on wealth management. And since then, we've grown the business from $500 million in assets in 2018 to $9.5 billion today.
All right. So you're an RIA.
RIA.
What year did you start?
So I started in 2018.
2018. Okay. So you started right kind of when that 3.0 start happened.
Yep. I started with a blank slate of paper and went, what accounting system do I want to use?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I guess, where did you land?
So, yep. Day one, I wanted something in the cloud. Something I didn't want nothing on-prem. I mean, we were all of 8 people, 10 people. So I didn't really have much in the way of resources. So I looked around. I knew of Sage Intacct because of my prior history with them. Did not want to go with the QuickBooks because I knew QuickBooks would have been fine for a year or two, but we had plans to grow quickly. We also regulated, and so we needed something with more controls, more oomph, to use a technical term. So we decided I decided to go with Sage Intacct. I mean, very, very bare bones at the beginning because we didn't need much. So we basically went with the base modules, GL.
Core financials is what
Yeah,
we say.
yeah, there you go.
Now, hold on. When did that move? Was that right in 2018?
Yep, 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
So
was it Intacct or was it Sage Intacct yet?
No, it was actually, I think it was Intacct.
It was
I
just
don't think it
Intacct.
was Sage Intacct. I don't know. It was right around there. I
I
can't
think it was
remember.
2017 that Sage purchased Intacct.
Yeah, I was like 18 or 17.
It was right around then.
Okay.
About the same time. And yeah, so we started off with next to nothing on January 1/18. Actually, is when the company started. I was doing some help with them before I officially moved out to San Francisco from New York, which is kind of bizarre thing to do, a registered investment advisor in San Francisco and hire someone from Wall Street to do it. But that's what I did, and yeah, and then slowly over time we've taken on more modules and are now using a lot of aspects of it. There's some modules we'll never use. We do not have inventory. So,
Yeah. You don't need to be HIPAA compliant.
no, I don't need to be HIPAA compliant. But we're using the lease module, we're using the planning module, we're using the AI aspects of it. We've enhanced accounts receivable, accounts payable side of things, and just every time they roll something new out, I look at it and decide whether it'll work. We need it or don't, and we just keep doing more and more with them.
Makes a lot of sense. So, from a high level, you've been with Intacct now for 8 years.
Yep.
So you've seen a lot of
job on that.
change. Yeah.
Good job.
I can do like single digit math.
Okay.
You've seen a huge shift in what Intacct is as a product, obviously, over that time period. Especially because if you think about it, you came into this when Sage first purchased it, and then Sage invested a ton into the product in the years. From a high level, tell me, as the consumer, how that journey's been, what you've seen, what you've liked We're the unofficial Sage Intacct podcast, so you can also tell us if you have any gripes. They might make us edit it out. No, they can't do that. But love to hear sort of what you've seen from investment and what you've liked and or what your feedback is from the development and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly have been ups and downs. I will not claim it's been pure, nice. There have been times where things just didn't go right, and partly because when we went with Intacct, there were parts of Intacct that weren't fully formed, I would say. So we actually went with Bill for our pay system integrated into Sage Intacct.
Yep.
And we've had some issues over the years with that integration. Today, I was actually sitting in the various AP classes today because one of the things I'm interested in looking at is, can we shed Bill and move into the mineral tree AP automation?
That is one of Intacct's most popular add-ons is AP automation.
Yeah. So we don't use it currently because we have it built in Bill, but there's huge advantages to us moving to that. So that's been part of the reason I came.
Okay.
Even partly crippled I wanted to look at that. And so, we've various things that have worked and haven't worked. Sometimes because of our providers, we've had some issues with payroll. Because our payroll provider doesn't play nicely with Sage Intacct, more because of the way they do things than Sage Intacct. So we are looking at new payroll providers that will work nicer with Sage Intacct.
And you'll find them here.
Yep, that's one of the other things. And we've also been able to leverage Sage for a lot of our reporting that we can't do through our other systems. So we have Salesforce, we have some unique RIA products.
Yep.
But as a result, our billing happens in various places. Yep. And none of the other systems can report the whole picture. And so we bring it all into Sage Intacct, every invoice, every customer, and we use it as our master record.
Okay. Yeah. So is it fair to assume that you're multi-entity?
We are multi-entity.
How many?
We currently have 6 entities.
6 entities. So what do you see as some of the most powerful modules, advanced, outside of that core, that is really driving success for your org?
Yeah, so there's 2 aspects of it. We have some modules that are helping us from, so to say, administration perspective. So like lease accounting. Yeah, not helping the business much, but it sure helps my team a lot in getting that done. But the core product which is a core product that we really leverage is the revenue module, and being able to do reporting, revenue management and reporting out of that, I'd say, is our key. The other part where we're starting to get a lot more value, it's still work in progress, is the AI aspects. Yep. Of the AI to close, and then the AI to actually review, find the anomalies.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that. So, how are you using AI today? And what does your team look like?
Yeah, so fairly small. I mean, as a company, so 2018 we were basically 10 people. Today we're 120 people.
Okay.
So we're still pretty lean. We are, I say, beyond the startup phase. So, we were a startup for probably the last 5-6 years. We at that cracks where we're going from startup to high growth. Yep. Kind of thing, or whatever you want to call it. So 120 people, 5 people that are in the finance adjacent space that we have. The nice thing about Sage Intacct is half of my team is in India. And so we can, we work around the clock because they can work. We don't have to worry about, can they access the system remotely, because Sage just works everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And so that AI aspects, how are you using it?
So the AI aspect, we really are still in our learning phase on it. Mm-hmm. Basically, the issues when Sage started doing the AI, which we looked at and we said, hey, we spend a week every quarter where we go through everything. And we're looking for the anomalies, what's wrong, what's right, so we can fix it all and get good, clean reporting. And we've been able to leverage the AI for that now. Yep. That it takes less than a day to do. We basically, I'll get on get my team all on a call, and we'll start running the AI, and everybody will be looking at different things using AI to assess the quality of our records.
Can I assume that's the close agent?
Yes, close agent. And we also use the Copilot, though, also just to ask questions,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious.
How's our conference been this month?
Okay, yeah, I'm curious. Like, what is like the question that you seem to ask all the time?
Yeah, it's the big thing is, what were we spending money on, to simplify the word, but it's, we're always interested in what conferences do people go to, and so we can understand what value they were getting from these conferences. That golf conference you went to, I'm not sure why is that sitting in my business account, kind of thing.
And so it's your Salesforce and Intacct are connected, so you can pull that information and
Yep.
it
So
live in Intacct?
we pull it. We actually go both ways. So
Okay.
there's information we pull in from Salesforce into Intacct, and information we send into Salesforce from Intacct.
This might get a little more technical than we want to go into, but are you using the advanced CRM integration, or you did a custom integration with Salesforce?
We want to move to that, but we did a custom integration when we did it,
Yeah.
Okay.
because it was a while ago.
That makes sense. I mean, if it was a long time ago, I don't know exactly when the custom.
It's fairly new.
Yeah, it wasn't available when we did. I know that much.
So, what other ways are you, as the CFO, utilizing information within Sage for decision making, for driving the business, and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, having been an auditor for 20 years, I view it's critical. So I am constantly looking at things, team level, department level, ROI, what, how we spending my money. I want $2 worth for every buck I spent.
Okay.
And so I am constant in there monitoring, looking at things. And that's where the AI is great. Before I was going in there, I was dropping data into Excel, manipulating it, trying to look at things. Now I can go in and I just throw out the question. The hardest part is coming up with a question and how to word it. And it comes back in, minutes versus hours, days of work.
All right, I have to know this. Do you consider your function, the function of the finance office, to be a cost center or a profit center?
Oh, I just consider us to be the boss. We both. I mean, we definitely are both. Because, my CEO said to me yesterday, because of my current injury state, he's like, I'm really worried if you ever get hit by a bus, because we might have to close up shop. But that's what I try make my finance team be, is that one, and my answer to him was, no, it's fine, because my team all knows what I do, is, actually anyone on my team should be able to step up and take my place, but our team as a whole should be irreplaceable to the firm, because we are so integrated in everything. And we are. I mean, we are heavily involved in our business development, both inorganic and organic, and assessing those projects. One of the things we do want to do, we haven't done yet, is we want to start leveraging the Sage Intacct planning module for business development. So when we're doing inorganic growth and we're looking at an acquisition of your business, feed it into our planner and see how it will actually, what the impact would be.
Are you making me an offer right now?
Yeah, how many assets you got in the
We're a people business. I don't think that's what you invest in.
Everything's a people business at the end of the day.
So, as we look at that planning side, so, Sage Intacct planning is not just a budgeting tool, it's a forecasting tool. What are you hoping to get out of that? Where do you see that really driving success for you?
Yeah. And Sage is making some big investments in that tool as well, so you can probably expect a lot more functionality.
Yeah, no, I mean, we love it as it is. I mean, we use it as a budgeting tool. We also use it as our forecasting. We got 10 years with forecasting it. Where I want to get to with it is the ability to actually now have more scenarios, or more easily have scenarios. So if you do this, and I add it into the planning module, I can see what would happen. If you
If
do
this,
something,
then that.
if this, then that, and take it beyond that. Yes, it's not a Monte Carlo, but kind of where I can say, okay, well, if you do that and he does that, where do we are? And if you and look at those scenarios, because that's what our board's looking for. That's what my CEO is looking for. That's what I'm interested in, because I've put a significant amount of time and effort into this business. I want it to be a success.
I love that you say that, because I think so many organizations look at budgeting as like a moment in time. I'm going to do the annual budget for this coming year. And really, that's not how business works, right?
Yeah, I'm a strong proponent of rolling forecasts and budgets. So we actually reforecast every quarter. But we have our original budget because that's our yardstick that we measure against. But yeah, no,
And with Intacct, all that reporting is just native into the system.
exactly. So we are now, right now, because Q1's done. We're looking at Q1 and saying, okay, well, what do we think we need to change? Because there's some software that our operations team had acquired, but then decided, nah, then it didn't work for them, don't want it, cancel the contract, we're done. Well, it's in our budget for the rest of the year. But I know I'm not going to spend that money. So let's, reforecast it.
All right.
So I kind of want to take a look under the hood, right? You've talked a lot of good things about Intacct, but maybe what are some things that Intacct needs to work on? And
Yeah. Oh, well, the one thing that even sitting and watching the AP module with the mineral, I think it still needs work. So looking at that. The other thing I would love to see is something more around vendor onboarding to support vendor onboarding process that goes beyond accounting. So, I'm assessing the vendor. Are they SOC compliant? Am I doing my vendor diligence properly? I would love to see a module that's sort of bolted on in front of AP.
So credit control potentially.
No, this is not really credit control. This is more about, are you an appropriate vendor from a controls perspective?
Okay.
Have you been in business, etc. That we go through it. As a regulated entity, we require to have a vendor due diligence process. So
Yeah.
think of it like an investment due diligence process, but on your vendor.
No, that makes sense.
Are they financially stable?
I shouldn't do this right now, but you may want to look at Sage Forms that integrates with Intacct.
Yes.
And that you'd be kind of, I know you're asking for a module, but that would be one way to
Yeah,
accomplish.
a way to do it. Yeah, but
you're solutioning that.
yeah,
that's my natural space.
Yeah.
I mean, and the vendors out there that are doing some of this stuff, we're using a vendor to do it, where I can just phone them up and say, here's a vendor I'm thinking, and they will go do the whole assessment and diligence for me.
But you'd love that to be
I
core
would
to the
love that
product.
built into Sage Intacct, because then it feeds right into my, maintaining my vendor master list. It can drive my, revisiting of vendors, because it's not a one and done. Oh, you're great, we're done. Now you got to keep convincing me I'm going to be your client. So we got to, redo that vendor module.
I think it's a really great feedback. And it was funny, when we were at dinner last night, I was talking to one of the Sage team members. I'm not going to drop any names here because I don't want to get in trouble. But we were talking about different modules that would be impactful for Sage to either develop more around. So I think this is the kind of thing that Sage is looking for, is that kind of feedback of how it can be a more complete financial system.
Yeah, and that's why I like to ask the question. I mean, I even ask it to the folks that I talk with on a daily basis, is because it's helpful information to know, and you never know. I mean, just one conversation could have Sage starting to work on there.
All right, so if that's the one thing
Well, there's a couple more.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
Because the other one I'd love is support for investments in investment accounting.
Okay.
Which, it's a bit nichey in the sense that it's firms like ours, but most firms have, they have some form of investments. So the ability to put stocks in, put your bonds and everything into the system, and actually do the gap accounting for them, instead of what we do now is we do the accounting outside and we post journal entries. But it's kind of like an inventory system, but for stocks and bonds.
Right. Okay.
Which would be another nice feature to have. And then the one thing in this one's just a bit of it,
Yeah, this is
this
wish
is
list.
this cosmetic thing. I mean, I think it's really is time that we refresh the look of Sage Intacct when you come in. It's looking a bit dated.
Okay.
Those are one of the things that they have to do very, very slow, though. I mean, do you remember how the list views changed in
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Intact? It was over a long period of time.
Yeah, I still sometimes switch to the old version. So
He wants a new look, but he likes the old look.
yeah.
So
We're a customer. We never happy.
I'm glad you say that. Now, if those are your wish lists, I don't think it would be fair not to ask, what are your top 2 things that you love the most about Intact?
A rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Yeah.
So the most reporting and the flexibility you get to generate reports different ways very quickly, and it's pretty easy to check the integrity of your reports. So that's number one. Accounts receivable, the core modules are easy, great to use, in my opinion. So that's the other aspect. The one aspect I don't like, sorry, I'm dropping into don't likes again. See, it's an auditor 20 years, you keep being funny, is the banking bill reconciliation doesn't work well for us.
Like it doesn't connect to your bank?
Yeah, it doesn't connect to our bank, and so it just is problematic. I wish that would work with more banks and work easier.
And most of the time it's on the banks.
It's the bank
It's on the
side, yeah.
bank side of things. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way for them to, if they're listening, to standardize that, because I do have that same thought.
Yeah, so that's the one area I'd really, what's a mundane type of improvement I'd
So
like to see.
you're saying I want a solution. This is like the world I live in.
I know,
Wow.
I know.
That's what I heard from 20 years from every one of my clients. So they think, give me a solution, give me a solution.
That's a problem. I mean, both Emily and I are on the sales side. I don't think, Emily, you do the scoping necessary from implementation.
I do that.
You do a tad. I do a lot of scoping, and so my job, like on a daily basis, is to solution around problems. So I hear this, I want to go into it, but then I'm gonna extend this way too long into it, and it's not fair to you. But no, it's great feedback, and I think that what is obvious to me is, even though you're saying here are the things that would be better, you have a deep respect for what the capability of the product is, and it sounds like the way you utilize it, it supports heavily the success of the organization. Is that fair to say?
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
Very much so.
If Sage Intacct disappeared tomorrow,
I'm retiring.
You're retiring?
Someone else's problem.
Should we send a statement to CEO?
Yeah, no, it would be. I mean, I get phone calls from other, competitors of Sage Intacct all the time, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not interested in even talking to you.
don't call David.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you.
It is so entwined in what we do. If we, you waved that horrible black witch wand of yours and made Sage Intacct disappear.
No, I don't want to make Sage Intacct disappear.
Because that's what you would be, in my
I would
opinion.
be out of a job.
So wait, so you're now a black bad
Well,
witch?
Yeah.
she's got to be.
I am from Louisiana, so I've heard the term voodoo.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. She's dressed in all black.
And
mean,
I am. Okay. Let's move on. Let's
Okay.
move on.
Yeah, no, it would be like having a heart transplant and a liver transplant and a brain transplant all at once to us. It would be a disaster.
So, do you have more rapid fire questions
My
here?
God, rapid fire questions. Quickly touch on the implementation. I guess it was a little while ago, but how was that? You were a startup, so you didn't have any historical data.
Yep. So that made it easy. Yeah, the hardest thing was coming up with that chart of accounts, to be honest with you. It was really, phone them up, place the order, got the username and passwords, and we were up and running. So it was really easy for us because of where we were.
From a similar question, but I always talk to people, organizations that have used Intacct for long term about, or for a long time, about really like the journey of continuing to make it better. And so, like, looking at your chart of accounts, looking at your dimensional structure, report generation, and so forth. What is that kind of that?
Yeah, have you done health check?
Yeah, we have, and I mean, one of the things that we are actually thinking of re-implementing Sage Intacct, mainly for various reasons, but at one point I'd outsourced and was using, because it was just me, and I was using an outsourced bookkeeping company, and they, unfortunately, Sage, one of their senior managers happened to call up Sage and said, "Oh, we need to enable multi-currency for this client," because all the other clients had multi-currency. Well, we are purely a US company, and so Sage listened to the person and enabled it. Now we're stuck with it. And so
that has some impacts.
yes, it has impact. There's some baggage that it creates if you're not. I mean, it would be great if we were multi-currency, but we're not. So that's part of the reason we're thinking of re-implementing. But also we have some historical data that we never put into Sage Intacct back in the early days. And given some of the questions we get asked for, 5 years, 10 years looking back, we also thinking of re-implementing and sucking that information in,
Okay.
so that we would then have be able to use Sage to
Yeah, for a
report
holistic view. Yes.
yeah. So then I can tell you this client for the last 10, since 2018, this has been their revenue. We don't have that currently for 18, 19, 20 because we didn't, nothing to do with Sage Intacct. We just captured a total number.
Okay.
So,
Well, I think there are definitely some good implementation partners out there to help you do that.
no, I've been talking to a couple. But again, I'm kind of like, do I really want to go through all that work?
Yeah. Yeah, I like when I talk to clients about bringing them on to Intacct, I'm always like, no one wants to wake up in the morning and implement a new system. But at the end, when you're done, it's completely different and you're a lot better for it.
Do you know what I say to every in every like SOW review?
Am I copying you?
You are copying me.
You're copying me.
Maybe, nah, I don't know. You're too young for me. No, I'm kidding. No, I was like, I've never met anybody from a little child, a little baby, that said, I've just been dreaming about the day I could implement a new accounting
Yeah.
software, a new ERP.
Yeah.
Never met anybody that's ever
Nope,
said
I've
that.
I hate
never
to say that, but I used to say that when I was at Deloitte because it was lots of money for me. Because I was implementing it for you or you or you.
But you didn't. I don't think at like 4 years old you were like, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna implement accounting
No,
software.
I don't think so. Unfortunately, I think when I was 4 years old, there weren't much in the way of computers around. So.
We're all dating each other.
I know. Well, okay. I guess maybe to kind of bring down the conversation. What is one thing that you would want our podcasters, listeners, to know, maybe about Intacct, or maybe they're trying to get on the train with Intacct and they're just not there yet? What are your thoughts?
You know, I'd say the reason I would say go for it is Sage has shown a strong desire to continue to improve the product. So it is it's a full feature product as it is, but they keep finding new things to add to it and things that are great. And so that is, part of why I think it's important. I work for help nonprofits and other people who use other accounting systems. And I literally, a recent nonprofit that I was just helping with, volunteering with, and sat down with the treasurer and I was like, huh? This is the same system I looked at 12, 15 years ago. And it really hasn't changed. It works for them, but it really hasn't moved.
Ooh, what system?
Huh? Are we allowed to say?
You say whether you.
Yeah.
Oh, I could say. Well, one is QuickBooks, which has not really changed
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
in years. And that's what they are. And I literally was like, huh? It felt like I was picking up where I was, as I say, 10, 15 years ago, helping other nonprofits with QuickBooks.
See, now,
And especially if you're a nonprofit, Intacct is the solution.
if you're a nonprofit with grants, especially.
Yeah, I've
We
heard.
we didn't really talk about it, but Intacct's dimensionalized ability and its ability to have dimensions.
Oh, we use that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we throw classes and dimensions out there all the time. Anytime something special is going on,
You make it you
we
add
throw
it to the
another one
dimension.
on. It
Yep.
makes the reporting so much easier.
So what you might not know is I can tell that he's a Sage enthusiast, but see, he's probably known the Sage name since he was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were around that long.
No, they weren't. It was 81
I'm not the one.
or 82.
I'm gonna be
that they-
fully transparent. The only reason I know that Intacct was in the 90s was because I was born in 99 at the same time that Intacct was created. So
I really don't want to talk to you. But what's interesting, like for South Africa, is, you know, Sage from an HR and payroll is 60% of the market share in South Africa. There's a long standing of Sage products that were purchased, and so like you grew up your professional life around.
Yeah,
Sage.
put it this way. I've seen Sage acquire many of the companies that I've used, worked with, over the time, over the
So you saw the pastel
Yeah.
acquisition.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Matt, any final thoughts to really bring us home?
Well, and look, I think that what we're hearing is what's so impactful and so important to the listeners about how does a customer actually look at the Intacct products? What does it do for them? And what I hope, throughout this year in our relaunch is that we get to hear more and more from customers and what they're getting out of it. Because I think that, David, you talked about some really great things, but every customer uses Intacct a little bit differently, and it impacts them differently. And I think that's what's so unknown. Like when I think about QuickBooks or I think about some of the non-subledger products out there, people kind of get the same thing each time.
But every time, the number one thing people love about Intacct is its reporting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the one extension I would like to see on reporting, to sort of say my final remark, I would love if they got some sort of say non-accountants involved, so that we could actually have reporting and dashboards that are more intuitive to your CEO who doesn't really know a debit from a credit.
Okay.
Because I've seen that a few times where then, I have to sit there and say, okay, well, let me explain your dashboard to you. And they love, well, what's a debit? What's a credit? And I think that would actually go a great way, because that's one of the things we want to roll out actually, whereas we give department managers access to dashboards and sub managers, and where they can go in and look at things and understand. We're all a bit too accounting centric, I think, right now in that reporting, and I think getting input from people who aren't accountants on how to present data might be a useful exercise.
All right, Sage, take notes. Okay, anything else before we kind of close it out?
No, I think we've had a wonderful time here with David. I think we're wrapping up on our time.
Yes,
They told us we're kicking us off the stage.
they're
here.
gonna pull us off the stage. David, we like to end every podcast with a joke. It could be a good joke, bad joke, just joke.
It's mostly bad jokes. So
It's mostly bad
It's not a
jokes.
bar yet.
Do you have a joke for us?
Yeah, no, you said, do I have a dad joke? And I was like, oh, my kids are grown up. I don't have dad jokes anymore. But I mean, the thing I would say, about life in general is you can either be a critic or you can be an owner. And you got to decide what you are. I don't know if that's a joke, but
Well, maybe we should change to life advice. Maybe it could be dad joke / life advice.
yeah, well, that's what dad jokes are supposed to be, I guess.
There you go. There you go. Well, here we have a special gift for you. I know I'm wearing mine today, but we have a Sage Intacct unofficial Sage Intacct podcast T-shirt for you. So
Thank you.
I'll hand that to you, and thank you again for spending this time with us.
And I'm just going to let you know that if I don't see you wearing that tomorrow at the conference, I'm going to be offended. Not really. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, my pleasure, and thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome.